Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome to Soul Shift Messages. If you found your way here, please trust there's a message in here for you. Understand this space is about truth, growth, and transformation. We don't bypass here. We don't sugarcoat. And not every message will feel comfortable, but it will be honest. I speak in flow, and sometimes that includes cussing. It's just part of how the messages come through. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and trust your own discernment above all else. Take a deep breath, and let's begin. If you are new here, please know that at this time I make weekly content that is in 3 parts. Part 1 focuses on what needs to be revealed. Part 2 focuses on what needs to be understood. It's often a deeper dive on part 1. And part 3 focuses on what needs to be done. What changes do we need to make to embody what we're discussing for that week? Depending on when you find this video, you'll either find all the links to available content in the description box below, or you'll see a date of when to expect it. So as the new content is created and is made available, I go back through all the description boxes for that week and I update those links appropriately. So if you don't see it yet, it's coming. Be patient. All right, so this is going to be part 2 for this week's content, and I am calling this message, Stop Withholding Legitimacy from Yourself. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. So what's actually going on with your imposter syndrome? This is not about you lacking ability. All right, it's about a distorted internal system. Again, it's about a distorted internal system that is made up of learned expectations, unrealistic and constantly shifting standards, habits of dismissing your own competence, misinterpreting normal human experiences, and a lack of stable self-trust. At the center of all of this is one core issue. You don't feel allowed to take up space unless you meet very specific, almost impossible conditions. Instead of asking, can I do this? You're constantly asking, have I earned the right to be here? Am I allowed to be seen as capable? So where this pattern comes from, this likely developed in an environment where being good meant being correct. There were clear or unspoken rules, or approval depended on performance. You learn to follow expectations, get things right, and avoid mistakes. Over time, this became internal. I'm hearing a lot of you don't even think about doing this anymore. You just do it. Now, even when no one is judging you, part of your mind still asks, am I doing this the right way? Am I meeting the standard? Your sense of legitimacy became tied to performance, not just ability. The core misalignment. Everything revolves around this mismatch. Your standards are rigid, extreme, unrealistic, and always moving, while your actual functioning is human, variable, and imperfect, but capable. Instead of adjusting the standards, you question yourself. You're trying to earn permission instead of assuming it. You operate from the belief that you must prove yourself, reach a certain level, and be consistently good before you're allowed to feel legitimate. Instead of believing I belong here, it becomes I need to justify being here. At the deepest level, you treat legitimacy as something external, something that must be granted or confirmed, but that confirmation never fully lands because it's not supposed to come from outside of you, babies. All right? Legitimacy isn't granted, it's assumed. And I'm hearing assume you have it. Act as if you do have it. You're waiting for a moment that doesn't exist. There's an expectation that one day you'll feel fully confident. Doubt is just going to disappear. Everything will feel clear, and then you feel like you belong. That moment doesn't happen. Not because something is wrong, but because that's not what competence feels like. All right? It's not what it feels like from the inside. They want me to be clear. Even highly capable people feel uncertain, have gaps, and question themselves. That's just normal. I would say it again. Even highly capable people feel uncertain, have gaps, and question themselves. What's the difference? They just don't treat those feelings as disqualifying. That's the difference. And I'm hearing you can close that gap. You're waiting to feel ready before acting. Your internal rule has been once I feel confident, then I'll trust myself. But it actually works in reverse. You act, you tolerate uncertainty, you take up space, and then your brain updates. You have to act first. You got to tolerate the uncertainty that comes with it. Take up space. I'm hearing you are already there. You are already taking up space. Do it energetically as well. They really don't want you shrinking yourself. And you don't even have to do this physically, although some of you may recognize you do that physically. Take up space. I'm hearing shoulders back, chin up. I'm hearing plant your feet. Take up space. You are here. You are worthy of taking up space. And then your brain updates. You have to move differently. You've got to teach your system something new. So right now you're waiting for a feeling that only comes after behavior changes. You treat self-trust as something to earn. You approach self-trust like, I'll trust myself once I prove I deserve it. But that creates a loop. The loop is you don't trust yourself, and that leads to you questioning everything. You questioning everything leads to nothing feeling solid. And nothing feeling solid leads to you not trusting yourself. So self-trust never actually forms. Doesn't get there, all right? Self-trust is built from choosing to trust yourself before you feel ready. Again, choose to trust yourself before you feel ready. Nobody knows you better than you. This is not the time to be outsourcing things about yourself. I'm hearing you know the good, the bad, and the ugly about yourself. And it's okay. We all have ugly parts that we don't like, but I'm hearing you really do know yourself to that level. You've built an identity around I might be exposed. There is a quiet identity underneath everything, and that is I'm someone who could be found out. This shapes your behavior. This makes you stay alert. You second guess and you prepare for being exposed. Letting go of imposter syndrome means letting go of this identity. And I'm hearing you should absolutely let it go. All right? This can feel uncomfortable because it's familiar. But I'm also hearing just because it's familiar doesn't mean you're supposed to stay there. I'm hearing these tactics, this system kept you safe and protected for a while. This is no longer that time. I'm hearing it's time to put it down. For some of you, staying in this longer than you need to is also going to make you uncomfortable. But I'm hearing you can choose how long that discomfort stays in place with this. So you split yourself into two versions. You see the competent version and the real version of yourself. The competent version of you is what others see. The real version of you consists of your doubts and your inconsistency. And you treat the second one, that real version, as the truth. So when you succeed, it becomes that wasn't the real me, that was just a good moment. This blocks success from becoming part of your identity. I'm hearing all of it is actually you. All of it is you. I'm hearing claim your success. Claim your success. I'm hearing your success is not a fluke. It's not a fluke. Claim it. Own it. Allow it to become a part of you. It is a part of you. Don't be rejecting aspects of yourself that don't need to be rejected, especially your successes. Claim that shit. You compare yourself to something unreal. And they mean that, unreal. You don't compare yourself to real people. You absorb external standards, exaggerate them into something perfect, and then measure yourself against that. So you're comparing yourself to a fictional version of competence. And that's why nothing ever feels enough. Why? Because it's not real. Unrealistic standards, unrealistic expectations. And I'm just hearing you don't need to be doing any of that. I'm hearing compare yourself to yourself. Compare yourself to the version of you that you were yesterday, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, something like that. Don't be comparing yourself to anyone outside yourself, because that's just not, I'm hearing that's not an appropriate baseline, and that will do you no favors. Your standards keep moving. You hold rules like, I should always perform well. I should be consistent, and I should understand quickly. Then you do improve, and then when you do improve, the standards shift and you do improve. They said that was not a mistake. You do improve when you do improve. I don't know who needed to hear that, but someone did. But yes, then when you do improve, the standards shift. So instead of I've grown, it becomes this is the new minimum and I'm still behind. You never get to feel progress with that type of mindset. I'm hearing take the progress. One of my favorite sayings is progress is progress. I don't care if I didn't move the needle very far from one day to the next. If it's moving in the right direction, progress is progress, and that is good. We're going to celebrate that. That's a win. I don't care if it's 1 millimeter more. Like, bitch, that is progress. Again, in the right direction. I'm going to take it. Add that up. It compounds. You think in all or nothing terms. Your internal rules sound like, if I'm not consistently good, I'm not good. If I struggle, I don't belong. And if I don't understand quickly, I'm not capable. There's no room in here for learning, off days, or gradual improvement. Normal human variation becomes failure. It's not actually failure. I'm going to be honest, it's a real off day for me. If I had it my way, this message would have been recorded hours ago. But energetically, I just couldn't fucking get it started today. In fact, I'm not going to lie. As soon as this message is done, I'm going downstairs. I'm doing these dishes. I'm putting sheets on this bed. And I am calling it a day because after 2 big mugs of tea this morning, I just never stuck in second gear all damn day. So off days happen. They happen to the best of us. They happen to all of us. You got to make room for it. And sometimes you just got to be real honest with yourself when it's just not your day. I had some great days earlier this week. I'm grateful for those. Today isn't one of them. That's okay. We adjust expectations. We do the best we can with what we got. And tomorrow's a new day. Maybe I feel better. Maybe I do more things. I don't know. We'll find out when we get there. But be kind to yourself. Out of all the things that you can do in this world, it's never a bad thing to start with being kind to yourself. You misinterpret normal human states. When you feel tired, unfocused, and uncertain, you interpret it as I'm not capable instead of my state changed. That's normal. Temporary states become permanent conclusions. Your state can change at any moment. Just acknowledge it for what it is. It's the same thing with emotions. Just because you're mad or you're upset or you feel unclear in the moment, give it 20 minutes. See where you land. You judge yourself in the moment. You evaluate yourself based on right now. If you have one good day, you think maybe I'm capable. If you have one off day, you think I'm not actually good. You don't use a stable, long-term view of your ability. I'm hearing you're more than capable. You've already proven you're more than capable. I'm just hearing give yourself grace. You don't have a stable internal baseline. Your self-trust depends on your mood, recent performance, and feedback. So your sense of ability and confidence constantly shifts. There's no steady internal voice saying, even when I'm off, I am still competent overall. And you are. That voice is not a liar. That's your friend. You mistrust ease and equate struggle with legitimacy. When something feels easy, you think that doesn't count. When something is hard, you think now it's real. So you dismiss ease, which then makes struggle required. All right, and this also blocks you from trusting your strengths. I got news for you. When I try to call things in, one of the first things I do is I always set the intention it comes in with the most ease possible. The most ease possible. If there is any way shit can just fall in my lap, or I am literally just told go here at this time to be in the right place at the right time for whatever it is, I will take that shit every time. Every time. Give me the easiest path forward for all the shit I need. Line it up. If I had an easy button, I would smack the shit out of it until it died. Why? Because that's the type of shit I want to be on. If it's too hard, if I'm met with too much resistance at this point, I step back. And not even a small step. I take a full step back because it's just like half the time it's like something's going on here. I don't see it. It like nothing should be this hard. If it is this hard, maybe there's something I'm missing and I gotta look at it again. I'm just hearing clear as day, don't dismiss what's easy. Take this if it resonates with you, but for some of you, your guides are trying to bring in more ease into your life. And it will be very challenging for them to do so if you don't open yourself to things that are in alignment or in coherence with you. If it comes in with a lot of ease, some of you could self-sabotage things if you don't open yourself up to ease and things being easy. I'm just hearing you don't have to do everything the hard way. And they don't want you to think you have to do everything the hard way, because if you think that way, they're almost going to have to make you do shit the hard way so that you actually recognize what's for you. I don't want to elaborate any more than that, so I'm going to move on. All right. You reject your own evidence. You do succeed, but you explain it away, minimize it, and disconnect from it. You think that was luck or that doesn't prove anything. You may think these are just thoughts, but they're teaching your brain to filter out proof of your competence. You don't want to do that. Allow yourself to acknowledge your success. Let your brain update and be receptive to that. You focus on what's wrong. Your attention goes to mistakes, gaps, and uncertainties. Even if most things go well, your mind highlights what didn't. So your self-image is built on incomplete data. I'm hearing all life is improv. All life is improv. Nobody really truly knows what's coming next. We're all out here winging it. Every day, every moment, right? Certain things we just trust is going to happen, but nobody actually knows for sure what's going to happen next until you're actually in the moment. I'm just hearing all life is improv. There is always going to be uncertainty as a result. I'm just hearing trust you're prepared to handle what comes your way. Whether you believe it or not, that's up to you, but trust you're prepared to handle it and that you're capable of handling it. You undervalue your real strengths. Your strengths include things like insight, intuition, emotional intelligence, creativity, and pattern recognition. But you undervalue them because they're harder to measure, less visible, and less rewarded. Meanwhile, you overvalue output, perfection, and external validation. That's interesting. How do you want me to frame that? Some of you are a lot more intuitive than you want to give yourselves credit for. Some of you are learning to function in a way that doesn't really fit with the way this world functions. And I get that. I really do. I'm hearing just because you can't measure it, just because you don't have tangible proof of it, doesn't mean it's not valuable. It just doesn't. And they want you to know this is not the time to be doubting what you feel, doubting what you really, truly know. They also don't want you to really, yeah, some of you, your intuition's really kicking on, and it can be really jarring when some of your gifts start opening up. Because I know I just be out here in this world and I just get downloads. I just be knowing shit. I didn't ask for it. I just know it. And so some of you are adjusting to that, and it's throwing you through a bit of a loop. And so my advice to you is, if it's nice where you are, get outside in nature. I'm here and put bare feet on earth if you can, even if it's just for a short period of time. Take some deep breaths. And I'm also hearing be patient with yourself. I don't know why, but I'm hearing drink water. Drink water. Water can help you ground. You can literally tell your water to help you ground. Like literally, you can speak intentions into water. I could literally talk into this water and drink it. That's how you can program water. You can set intentions with your water. The water spirits and I go deep, so I'm used to that. I actually don't program my water anymore. They know what to do, so I just drink it now. But be patient. Let that unfold. Try not. I don't know why, but I'm hearing try not to rush that too much because you can really overwhelm your ass. Not your literal ass, but your whole ass self. Yeah, I'm just hearing let that unfold naturally. But some of you are going to really start seeing that it really is, there is a spiritual aspect to this world. And some of you are really starting to understand that. And if you don't, like, let's just say you're here because you want to do self-improvement. I'm still hearing just because you don't buy into the spiritual aspect of things doesn't mean magic doesn't happen here. It doesn't mean that there aren't good things lining up for you. Some of you are going to start getting introduced to that more and more. I've been getting a lot of interesting downloads lately. So, all right, let me keep it moving. You're focused on how you're perceived. You constantly monitor how you appear, whether you seem competent, and whether you meet expectations. This is how you can be in the experience and still observing yourself in the experience. All right, this is another split. All right, you ask, do I look like I know what I'm doing? This disconnects you from actually doing the work. And I'm hearing they want you to really focus on doing what you need to do. Don't worry so much about how you're being perceived and what others think. I'm hearing what you think and what you do about what you're actually doing is more important than anyone else. I'm hearing some of you need to start deprioritizing other people's opinions, other people's perceptions. Start with yourself. If you know you are doing the right thing for you, I'm hearing who gives a fuck what anyone else thinks. We're not here to please the world. If you tried to please the world, you would accomplish nothing. It's an impossible task. One of the most freeing things I ever did for myself was really just recognizing that either I could disappoint myself by trying to continue people pleasing and making everyone else happy, or I could just accept the inevitable fact that putting myself first and doing what was best for me was going to disappoint other people. And I really just decided that I would rather get to the end of this experience and be like, yep, I absolutely did disappoint some people, but I stayed true to myself. And I decided that was the outcome that I was willing to live with, as opposed to genuinely wondering if I was capable of more and not knowing. So that is something for someone to consider. I'm hearing you could just do the work. You don't have to worry about that audience. You assume others are more certain. They're reminding me again, all life is improv. Even if you have a plan, shit can go in a different direction in the blink of an eye. You think others are more confident, know more, and feel more legitimate. But most people also feel uncertain. It's normal. I'm uncertain now. It is what it is. I'm still here. I'm still doing this video, and I'm still going to do the things that I plan to do after I'm done recording this. Sometimes you just have to roll with it. Clarity comes when it comes. All right? The difference is these people just don't use that uncertainty to question their legitimacy. You confuse learning with failing. When you're growing, you feel slow, unsure, and imperfect. And you interpret that as, I don't belong, instead of I'm learning. It's not even just you're, learning and growing. Like, you just drop old things and you have to learn new things as a result. It's just part of the process. You haven't updated your self-image. You've grown and developed. I'm hearing you absolutely have. I'm hearing that's facts. All right, but part of you still sees yourself as less capable and in an earlier stage in your development. Simply put, your identity doesn't match your current reality. You just need more time. Even when you are changing habits, things still take time. I don't know why, but they're making me think of when you go to the gym, right? You go to the gym for the first time, even if you just do ab work or you lift weights, like you don't leave the gym with six-pack abs and muscular arms on the first time. Like, you just need time and consistency. I'm hearing it's the same thing here. You just need more time for these things to catch up to each other. You use self-doubt as protection. You think, I'm not that good, so criticism won't hurt as much. But this also prevents you from owning your ability. For some of you, I'm hearing you've earned your spot. I don't know if someone's questioning if they've actually earned their spot. I'm hearing you've earned it. Don't give that up. I'm hearing some of you are letting the small voice in your head get the best of you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Own your ability. Own your strengths. You know what you're good at. You absolutely do. If you're telling yourself you don't, I'm hearing you're lying to yourself. Everyone can name at least 3 things they're good at. And that should be the bare minimum. You're stuck in a pressure cycle, but you can break out of this. All right? You push yourself to prove your worth. You overextend, your energy drops, you interpret that as failure, you doubt yourself, and then you push again. This makes your ability seem inconsistent, but it's your energy and your expectations that are unstable. Say it again. This pressure cycle makes your ability seem inconsistent, but it's your energy and your expectations that are unstable. I'm here and you can adjust it, but you have to make the decision to do that. You stay in a safe middle zone. You don't fully claim your ability, but you don't fully step away either. You stay in a maybe I'm capable, maybe I'm not. And this feels safer, but this keeps you stuck. And I'm here and you have to pick one. Some of you, I'm just hearing some of you just really need to bet on yourself. Even if you're not sure, bet on yourself. If you're looking at situations where you're like, I'm not 100% sure I can do this, I'm hearing bet on yourself, right? Even if there's like a smidge of you, just a smidge that feels like you might be able to, your guidance feels like to leap. To leap. What's the worst that happens? You try something and it doesn't work out. I think we've, at this age, I've had that happen to me plenty of times. Like, things happen that embarrass me. Baby, I do that every day without trying. All right? And they really want you to bet on you. Trust yourself. I don't know why, but I'm here and know you're worthy. Visibility feels risky. Being seen as capable brings pressure, responsibility, and judgment. So you may hold back, not because you lack ability, but because being seen feels unsafe. I'm hearing they're being very blunt. They want me to hit this point by point. I'm hearing pressure is something you are more than capable of handling. In a lot of cases, there's only as much pressure as you allow there to be put on you. When it comes to responsibility, they're just saying, know what your boundaries are and honor them, enforce them. You can manage that too. In judgment, I don't know why, but I'm hearing judgy wudgy was a bear. Judgy wudgy was a bear. Yeah. People are going to judge if you do. People are going to judge if you don't. The judgment's just going to be there. For some of them, that's the attitude they want you to have when somebody judges. They're actually, I'm a little snarky. I'm a little feisty, a little sarcastic. I'm mindful of who I fire it at. But I have a saying where I mostly use it on family, but they're making me hear myself say, "Thank you for that unsolicited opinion." I usually say that with a very sweet smile, but yeah, thank you for that unsolicited opinion. That's usually how I handle judgment. Something to that extent. Good news is 9 times out of 10 that gets a laugh out of people. But yeah, it's like I wasn't asking for your opinion, and my family knows me. I just have a hard time giving a shit. Like, I didn't ask for this. Like, thanks. Like, probably won't use it either, but whatever. So, you treat doubt as danger. Sorry. That one was for me. I do take people's opinion. into consideration, but if it is straight up bullshit or not useful, I just don't even entertain that. So I'm working on me. I am. You treat doubt as danger. When you feel doubt, sorry, all right, are we done? Thank you. I'm not a complete asshole. I'm also selective of when I'm an asshole. You treat doubt as danger. When you feel doubt, you think something is wrong. But often doubt means you're stretching and growing. All right? When you're moving and shaking differently, you don't often know what comes next. That's where that uncertainty comes in. All right? Don't let that uncertainty and that doubt unravel you. You're stretching and you're growing. Come here and just get to the other side and see what happens. All right? Doubt is not proof of failure. It's not proof of failure. You try to solve this mentally. It will not work. You've tried to analyze and understand this, but the real shift is behavioral. You need to act your way through this. Act while uncertain. Allow yourself to be seen. And stop minimizing yourself in real time. Take up space. You already do. You already do. Own the space you take up. Again, shoulders back, chest out, chin up, plant your feet. I don't know why, but I'm hearing get your damn hands out of your pockets. Who is that for? Who is that for? Take up space. Own it. You don't need more proof. You already have enough evidence. Babies, I am here and you know your truth. You know your truth. More success, skill, or validation won't fix this. Why? Because the issue isn't lack of proof. It's how you interpret it and whether you allow it to count. This is a distorted internal system. That's why we're going to focus on how to take this shit down. It's how you interpret it and whether you allow it to count. The deeper structural problem, when something feels off, your default is something is wrong with me, instead of asking, are these standards realistic? Is this system fair? And that's what keeps this system in place. That's why we're going to feed it something different. You have to. Either you interrupt these systems and introduce new things to consider, or it just keeps going on repeat. You're loyal to a system that keeps you stuck. Part of you holds on to this system because it feels familiar, structured, and controlled. Letting go of it means less certainty, less control, and more exposure, which feels uncomfortable, even if it's healthier. And I'm hearing it's just time to put it down. What actually helps you function at your best? You don't perform best under pressure. I'm hearing that is a lie. It has always been a lie. You don't. You perform best when you're allowed to be imperfect. You're not trying to prove yourself, and you focus on the process. Your ability shows up under permission, not pressure. Permission. I'm hearing give yourself permission now. So the core truth, you are not an imposter. You're not. You feel like one because your standards are unrealistic. You filter out your strengths. You dismiss your own evidence. You treat normal human variation as failure. And you only allow yourself to feel valid under extreme conditions. You don't fix this by becoming more capable. You fix it by changing how you evaluate yourself. Let your success count. Stop dismissing evidence. Accept inconsistency as normal. Question your standards. Stop treating feelings as facts. Act even when you feel unsure. And allow doubt and competence to exist together. The final message is there is no moment coming where you will feel completely ready, completely confident, and completely legitimate. That is not the destination. The real shift is you start acting like someone who belongs, even when feeling like someone who might not. And over time, your identity catches up. It will catch up if you let it. You don't need to become legitimate. You need to stop withholding legitimacy from yourself. They said that's it. That's the message. So I'm going to close it there. And I will be back later this week with part 3, which will focus on what needs to be done to really get ourselves out of imposter syndrome, really open us up to living our best lives, our truth. You deserve that. All right. So tune in later this week if that resonates with you. If not, that's okay as well. All right. Take care of yourselves, beautiful beings. Until next time. Bye.